Welcome to Inspire the Next Mind by Fazos AI. Today, we're diving into a challenge that, let's be honest, every creative person knows inside and out. How do you tame that wild, unpredictable beast we call the creative process? How do we turn all that chaos into a real powerhouse of collaboration? Well, let's get into it. So, does this look familiar? You're juggling constantly shifting deadlines, you're getting vague feedback, and you're dealing with communication breakdowns that can turn a truly brilliant idea into, a frustrating fire drill. One minute, the vision is crystal clear, and the next, it's just a mad dash to the finish line. If that chaos sounds even a little bit like your day-to-day, then you are definitely in the right place. Okay, so what if I told you that the solution to all this creative chaos doesn't actually come from a design studio or a big ad agency, but from the world of software development? Yeah, I know, it sounds a little weird, but stick with me here. The answer might just be a framework called Scrum. So what on earth is Scrum? Well, at its heart, it's a framework. Think of it less like a rigid, step-by-step rulebook and more like a flexible structure for tackling really complex problems and, ultimately, delivering incredible work. The whole point is to give you just enough structure to let your creativity run wild, not to box it in. And this is the big question, isn't it? I mean, the second you hear words like process or framework, you kind of picture it crushing the very spontaneity that makes creativity, well, creative. It is a totally valid concern. And honestly, it's the number one reason why creatives are often pretty skeptical about methods like this. And this is exactly it. We're not trying to force a square peg into a round hole here. The goal isn't just to copy-paste a rigid process from the tech world. It's to translate its core principles. It's all about taking the essence of what makes Scrum so powerful, collaboration, flexibility, focus, and really tailoring it for the creative world. All right, so what does this translation actually look like in the real world? Let's break down how you can take the core parts of Scrum and make them work for a creative team. It's actually amazing how neatly these roles map over. In tech, you've got the product owner who guides the vision. For a creative team, that's your creative director or your project lead. The development team, of course, that's your crew, the designers, the writers, the artists. And the Scrum Master, well, that role becomes a facilitator, basically someone whose job it is to protect the team's focus and clear any roadblocks out of the way. So here's why that matters. Everyone has a super clear purpose. The creative director makes sure the work is on point and strategically sound. The creative team gets the freedom they need to actually create within that vision. And the facilitator, they run interference, protecting the team from distractions so they can get into that flow state. It's kind of like a system of creative checks and balances. Now, this rhythm is really the heartbeat of the whole process. You kick things off with sprint planning, where you decide, okay, what can we realistically get done in a short cycle, maybe 1 or 2 weeks? Then, every single day, you have a quick 15-minute scrum just to sync up. At the end of that sprint, you hold a sprint review to show off what you've made and get that crucial feedback. And finally, and this is so important, you do a sprint retrospective to talk about what went well, what didn't, and how you can make the next sprint even better. Okay, so all this structure and rhythm sounds great. But what's the actual payoff? Why should you even bother changing the way you work? Let's talk about the real-world benefits for creative teams, because that's what really matters. So here's the bottom line. First, you gain incredible flexibility. When a client totally changes their mind, and we know they do, you can adapt without derailing the whole project. Collaboration just goes through the roof because everyone is always on the same page. Your productivity completely transforms. Instead of chasing some giant, scary deadline, your team gets to focus on small, achievable goals. And maybe the best part, you build in a system for constant improvement. You're always getting better. And this quote just nails it. It says Scrum allows teams to adapt quickly and respond to feedback. For any creative team, that ability is everything. Client feedback is a constant, and brilliant ideas can pop up at any moment. Scrum doesn't try to fight that reality, it builds a system that actually thrives on it. This all probably sounds pretty good, but you might be thinking, where do I even start? It can feel like a lot, I get it, but your first step is actually really, really simple. Let's look at how you can get the ball rolling. First things first, forget trying to do everything at once. Just start right here. Take a really honest look at how you're working right now. What's going well, and what's a constant source of frustration? Be specific. Then, you need to define what you actually want to achieve. Is the goal faster turnaround times, better quality feedback, or maybe just feeling less stressed out at the end of the day? You have to know your destination before you can start the journey. And this might just be the most important piece of advice I can give you. Do not aim for a perfect launch on day one. It's not going to happen. Agile is a journey. Your first sprint might be messy, and you know what? That is totally okay. The entire point of this is to learn, to adapt, and to get just a little bit better with every single cycle. It's all about progress, not perfection. So, I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Imagine all of your team's creative energy, but completely channeled. No more wasted time in pointless meetings, no more confusion over vague feedback, just pure, focused creation. What could you and your team really accomplish with a lot more focus and a whole lot less friction?